What I'd like to do is I'd like to begin with 2 questions, and this is the point where you get to interact. I'd like you to raise your hand if you're actually proud of the world that we're leaving our children and our grandchildren. Anyone? Okay, raise your hand if you know that we could do better, and if you're willing to explore what that might look like. That's a good thing, because tonight we're going to do some exploring, and if you didn't already know it, it's a wild world out there. As activists, we see injustice everywhere, but we feel so powerless to create change. We think part of the answer could be to shift the political power or enact new laws. But deep down, even as we work towards these goals, we know we're only addressing the effect, not the true cause of the problem. Because we know we can't legislate away greed, addiction to power, control, or manipulation. And these inner attributes seem to be at the core of many of our problems today. So while we work for justice in the outer world, there's a part of us that knows that we must address and heal the inner core to create meaningful change. We just don't know how to do that. So I'm grateful to be here tonight to venture into what might be perceived as a radical or at least an unexpected perspective in a political venue, and that's the issue of our lost individual and collective spirituality. For without a true connection to our divinity and the highest that's within us, we're functionally unable to operate from a core position of love, unity, peace, and justice. Instead, we operate from our familiar position of fear and separation, energies that have led us to the world that we live in today. And let me be perfectly clear. Spirituality addresses the core of each and every one of us. It bypasses personality, intellect, emotions, and religion. It pierces the veil of our beliefs and our judgments to access the inner world of our very soul and our connection to our Creator. Clearly, spirituality is and should be highly personal and internally driven. But tonight, I'd like to share a simple exercise. It's easy. Anyone can do it if you choose to, and it addresses head-on one of the core problems that we will hear about tonight. But first, I have 2 important points. First, I'd like to suggest that as a nation, we suffer from a crisis of codependency. We're experts at being excessively preoccupied with what others should be doing, which of course we don't control at all, and totally ignore our own responsibilities, which are the only things we do control. Codependency keeps us separated from our authentic self and looking to create change everywhere but ourselves, the only place that change can actually occur. The second point that I'd like to make is that spiritual wisdom would remind us that we are all connected. This means that when one of us makes meaningful change, it positively affects all of us. Spiritual wisdom would also suggest that what we see out there and what we judge harshly is actually a mirror for what needs to be worked on in here. So here's the exercise for tonight. Are you ready? Let's take one of the hot issues I believe we will see in the movie tonight, and that's of the Koch brothers' corporate control and manipulation. And I have a question. Is there anyone in this room who believes that they're not controlling in some way, shape, or form? How does that work for you, truly? Is there anyone who hasn't been controlled or manipulated at some point in time or another? And how does that make you feel? The point is that what exists out there that we're actively fighting against also exists in here. And in here is our responsibility. So tonight's exercise is to find all of the obvious and all of the not so obvious aspects of how we try to control others within ourselves. Then we work with the highest that is within us to overcome, forgive, and heal the very core of these negative attributes. So in the future, instead of trying to control someone, we may choose to empower them instead. This may be as simple as saying, I trust you, you got this, rather than telling them exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it, right? So what this does is it creates freedom for both the controller and the controlled, creating a powerful ripple effect of empowerment, which happens to be the perfect antidote for control. We think the problem only exists out there, and we're unable to change it. But the problem exists and can be accessed from in here, and each and every one of us is completely empowered to change. Since we're all connected, as each of us creates meaningful change and joins with others in creating meaningful change, it positively affects all of us. We've just accessed and healed the true cause of the problem, the core issue, and it all begins at the only authentic point of power we have, ourselves. So what a powerful and unbeatable formula for social change when the positive actions of everyday individuals working in the outside world to educate and correct what is wrong merge with everyday individuals who are working within themselves to overcome, forgive, and heal the problems of the world. This is spiritual work at its finest, correcting both the cause and the effect, both within and without, creating better communities and more loving, self-aware people. I would like to end with the words of Teilhard de Chardin. Someday, after we have mastered the wind, the waves, the tides, and the gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. Then, for the second time in the history of the world, we will have discovered fire. Thank you.